Hello there, this is me, Dark Has 93, and this is going to be a Pretty Rainbow Live episode 22 review. Now, this episode starts off with, we see An, Ito, and Naru inside of the school, and basically they're just performing prism, they're just skating around, and Naru's in the back explaining that An is the, president of the Prism Show Club, but then she is also the student council president. And after that, we then see An, like, sort of becoming the face of the face of the website, I guess, because they're making a video that's all about her. That's not all about her, but mostly about her. And then Ku says, "Oh yeah, this is gonna go up on the homepage." Then after it, An then scolds Naru a little bit for that she has to still do her summer homework because it's almost coming to that time where summer's over and she still hasn't completed her homework. Naru asks An, "Oh yeah, can you help me with it? Like, can you do it for me?" An's like, "No, like, you could have done it. You did this, like, you could have did it in between the store and such. Like in between the store's business, and then when you go home, you can do your homework." Then what happens is then Wakana sees the video that goes up on the homepage with An and such, and she's like sort of reminiscing about what happens when in the past, she went to some place that she was supposed to go, looks inside, and then is shocked to see An performing Prism Show instead of her. That's weird. I don't know why she would be mad about something like that, but it does further the story, or further the mystery of why Wakana is actually mad at An in the first place. But besides that, Wakana then goes on the blog and looks at something and is like, sounds interesting. And then the next scene we see is An and Ito are inside this. An and Ito are with Naru inside the store. Naru's talking about how Rene made these amazing sandwiches. And the one she ate this morning was mackerel and jam. Sounds absolutely weird, but I mean, Naru said it was delicious, so I don't know what that may be hinting. If that was just something random thrown in there, but who knows? I mean, like, people were saying, like, someone said before, like, when Ota was blowing up the wound, that actually was sort of a hint of what a Prism Live instrument was going to be, but I don't know if they're going to do the same with, I don't know. I'm probably going to end up going into that in the preview review, but besides that, the episode continues on with Ku talking about a fourth grader has a question, and An's thinking to her, is reading it to herself, and it's like, "Oh, hey, I'm a fourth grader that totally forgot to hang out with my friend. What should I do?" An's like, "Oh yeah, apologize to that friend. Always make sure to protect your promises because, well, promises are important." Then what happens is we get a scene with Wakana saying that, well, she's a liar, like, just as liar under her breath. Then there's Koji, Naru, and Ito. Of course, the love triangle that'll never stop being exciting, that Naru and Ito decide to go see Koji because they want Koji to make their trio song. Naru asks him, he's like, "Okay, sure." And then as Naru says, "Oh yeah, me and Ito are going back to the store," Koji says a question, or asks a question. It's like, "Oh yeah, is Susan again, like," and then Ito's like, "Oh, what?" And Naru's like, "Oh yeah, you must mean Ito's father, right?" And Koji's shocked to know that's her father, and Then he asks, "So yeah, is that guitar his? Was that guitar his?" Ito's like, "It's none of your bit. It has nothing to do with you," and walks away, or storms away. Then what happens is Wakana calls up An, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come over at 1:00 in the afternoon to talk about maybe a practice match between our trio, Vetaros Team S against your trio, which is not named at the moment." An's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And she's like, "All right, meet you there." Then what happens is, what is it? Rene promised some kids before early in the episode. Rene promised some kids that she was going to go over to her house, go over to their houses. Then Naru denounced that, saying, "Oh yeah, you just can't make promises you can't keep." The second time the kids go away, and happens later in the episode. It actually comes back to bite them because Rene, I guess her promise went through to them, and that they wanted a prism show at their school. Like when they opened up school, when they were opening up school, they wanted a prism show. Of course, as Sato said before, Rene just can't perform prism shows willy-nilly. So An then takes up the offer and says that she's going to do it. Then we see a scene with Wakana basically laughing her head off, like just grinning. And Belle's like, "Oh yeah, what the heck are you laughing about?" Wakana's like, "Oh, nothing." And I guess it passes 2:00, and I guess she expects something to happen with An about being an hour late. But as noted before, there's a prism show at a school that An has to perform. She doesn't know when, but Ku says it's urgent, and basically they have to do it right then. And An says she didn't have any lunch, but Rene conveniently packages a lunchbox that is full of senbei sandwiches. I guess An didn't really like the senbei sandwiches. She was like, this is interesting. And then once they get to the school, she performs a prism show. Everyone's happy. She does 3 jumps in a row. She does Poppy Candy Rocket. Everyone's all happy, and it's all fun. And then once the day's over, they go back to Prism Stone. An's like telling Ito and Naru that, "Hey, I performed 3 jumps in a row. Yay." And then Wakana comes in. Wakana then says, "Oh yeah, hey, how you doing?" And then Wakana's like, "Oh yeah, you're not mad about me being late?" And An's like, "Hey, like things happen. Like I was worried about you, and things happened. So it's like, nothing you can do about it." But then Wakana's like, "You're really not angry?" And goes on to say, "Oh yeah, I guess only people you care about you get angry if they break your promise. But if it's people you don't care about, it's like whatever. Don't worry about it." And then An's like, "Oh yeah, what are you trying to say?" And then Wakana holds up a picture and gives An the picture. And An's like, "Oh yeah, what does this mean?" Wakana's like, "You still don't remember?" And it's like, "Oh, I guess some hero of justice you are." And Naru's like, "Oh yeah, is that Wakana? Like the girl on the far right, is that Wakana?" And An's like, "Oh yeah, it is Wakana." And basically, that's really the end of the episode because it zooms in on Wakana, and they're still wondering like what happened in the past. So again, this was a very good episode. I don't know. It was weird in the sense that they also included Naru's summer homework, which I guess was a little thing in the whole grand scheme of things. And I guess Wakana sort of missed the opportunity, I guess, because it was like, she tried to put it into An, but she tried to punch something into An, like, "Oh yeah, you're all mad and such," but I guess it didn't work out in the end, and well, Wakana's just trying to, I guess, get her old friend back, but it's not working. So hopefully we'll see what happens, and we'll see what happens in the next episode as I explain my little tidbits or my little predictions about in the preview review. But again, this has been an episode review. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.